Yo, what's poppin' Poke Pals? Rare TCG coming at you with a brand new video. Today we are taking a look at Eternatus. It is a one prizer basic Pokemon with 150 HP, which is nothing to scoff at, and has two attacks. Dynablast, which does 10 damage, which is pretty weak, but if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, it does an extra 80, so 90 damage for EX Pokemon. And its World Ender attack, which does 230 damage, but you need to discard a stadium in play in order to use this attack, which honestly, that's a pretty low risk. Like, you just need 3 energy and you could just do 230 damage for putting a stadium down. And it doesn't even have to be your stadium, it could be your opponent's stadium as well. So, End Zoroark teams better watch out with their End's castles. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, Rare, how exactly are we going to build up this Eternatus? It's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to build up. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was pretty difficult coming up with a way to power this up, but I think the most consistent way is using Flareon EX with its Burning Charge attack. For 130 damage and 2 energies, you could attach 2 basic energy cards from your deck and attach them to one of your Pokemon in any way that you like, and then shuffle your deck. To make this a little easier, we also play Sparkling Crystals or A-Spec. That way we can get Flareon going for 1 energy and we don't have to waste that many resources. But it's a pretty dumb deck, I'm not going to lie. But last time I did a pretty dumb deck with my Griever deck, you guys seem to eat that deck alive. So thank you guys so much for that, for the love and support that you've been showing this channel, and for all the love and support you've been showing my videos. I greatly appreciate it, I really do. So I'm done yapping. My intros have been getting a little too long, for my liking at least. So let's just hop into some gameplay and let's see how it goes. And yes, we are going ranked. Alright, here we are in game 1, starting things off with 2 Eevees, not bad. So what we essentially want to do here is we want to start things off with the Flareon EX, get the Sparkling Crystal, which we can use the Town Store Stadium to help us find, and then from there we just power up the Eternatuses. Now, unfortunately, we only got, we got a Deerling. That doesn't really help me. I don't think I went over what Deerling does, did I? In the team preview. So there's a Sawsbuck that came out in the previous set, not Black Bolt and White Flare, but the one before that, that has an ability. It's called Changing Seasons, and what it does is once during your turn, you can search your deck for a stadium card. That makes Eternatus a little more consistent, because towards the end of the game, when we get Iono'd like 15 times and we have like 1 prize card left to take, it becomes very difficult to find those stadiums, and I didn't want to waste a supporter turn using Culver's to get those stadiums, so I felt that Sawsbuck was the next best thing. So yeah, that was that. It looks like we are going up against Chien-Pao, which actually we could totally one-shot with just the world-ending attack. We don't even have to use a Brave Bangle to help build up Eternatus, so that's pretty good. It's all about, though, whether or not we can get this Eternatus set up. That is going to be a huge factor in this gameplay footage. But I find that setting up Eternatus is the hardest part because of its awkward energy requirement. So that's why we play Flareon EX and the Sparkling Crystal, because for 1 energy, Flareon can get 2 energies for Eternatus. So hopefully we can see that in action with this Iono. Please. No. We do get the Sparkling Crystal though, so I mean, that's not terrible, but at the same time it's like I kind of want to swing at this Chien-Pao though, because we could totally swing at this for 1 energy, so I'm going to do that actually. So let me retreat, get myself the Eternatus, let's use the Town Store, and let's get myself a Brave Bangle. Why not, right? Get a Brave Bangle, and now we're going to swing for 120 against this Chien-Pao. So, I mean, all in all, not bad. For 1 energy on a basic, we're 2-shotting a Chien-Pao. And the other thing, it looks like, well, they probably have the Baxcalibur in their hand. I was going to say, they don't have Baxcalibur set up yet, so they could maybe whiff this turn, but even so, they're just going to attach, and actually they need 3 water energies. I was going to say they could attach per turn and then just discard the 2 water energy, but no, they actually need 2, looking at it, because we have 150 HP. I can't emphasize that enough. 150 on a basic 1 prizer is absolutely insane, and that's what really drew me towards looking at this Eternatus and like, okay, how can I really essentially make this work? Because this is such an interesting card. 2/3. This is, in all my research that I do for my videos, this was the highest attacking one prize basic that I could find. So I was like, I have to make this thing work. It's too tantalizing not to make work. You know what I mean? So yeah. And I did get a comment in the previous video saying, were you even in ranked in some of these matches? And I'm not going to lie to you, the Greavard was the first ever video where I wasn't in ranked, and I guess it showed, because my opponents did make some questionable decisions. But that last matchup against the Raging Bolt, I was in a ranked match, and oh my god, they're just going to pass. Guys, this is a ranked match that I'm in right now. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is a ranked match that I'm currently in, and they just passed. I don't know if it's because they're having trouble setting up, so they're just AFK, or what the deal is, but I will absolutely take just a pass. And we get the Iono. Oh my god, we are making schmoves over here. This might actually be a win. I honestly didn't think that this Eternatus deck was going to win because of how inconsistent it is, but I was just like, you know what, let's go on the ladder. Maybe we'll get a couple wins. You never know. And okay, they're just going to concede. Nice. I think they saw the gameplay coming. Nice. All right, so let's move into a game 2, and I will show you right now. Ranked. I didn't get any points because I'm in Arceus rank, but yes, that was a ranked match. So let's move on to a game 2. All right, here we are in game 2, starting things off with Eternatus, which is not a great start, to be completely honest with you. Let's see what we're up against here. We are up Bramblin. Okay, now I'm really confused as to what I'm looking at here. I am going to attach this air balloon just because, and I think we're just going to pass. But to bring up the ranked versus casual scenario that came up in the last video, Scout's Honor, first time ever using casual. I didn't think that my Greavard deck was worth putting on ranked, hence why I didn't go ranked, and you did see that in the end when I went into Raging Bolt that it wasn't the best. But now that I know that you guys prefer ranked over casual, I try to be a little more, you know, oh, I'm a rogue deck player, so they're just going to attack. Again, okay, if this Eternatus wasn't so difficult to set up, we could have absolutely won. No, we can't. I was going to say maybe we could get something going, but no. Let me just put this down. I'm going to heal off that 10 damage thanks to this stadium that we play. Like this. We were so close to donking this, but unfortunately we just didn't have the Flareon set up. But what was I saying? Oh my god. The Greavard deck, yes. It was the first deck that I went casual, and it showed. So, you know, you called me out on it. It is what it is. I just wanted to make it so that, like, I know that I'm a rogue deck player, so I don't want to be like, oh, you know, I just play competitively. I wanted my viewers to feel like, okay, well, he plays competitive and he plays casual, you know, which I do. I don't just go on PTCGL and I go on ranked all day long. I do play a bunch of casual decks, and I do play test on casual, especially once I reach Arceus rank, because it's like, well, I reached Arceus rank, so what do I have to prove anymore? I kind of feel like, you know? But considering how, I don't want to be disrespectful and say terrible casual players are, but, you know, the lack of experience does show on camera. So, but to be fair, the Greavard deck did hold its own, even though we were going up against casual players. Every other match on this channel has been ranked, including these. So if you don't want me to play casual, I won't play casual. I'll leave it up to you in the comment section. Should I play casual? Should I play ranked? Should I do a mix of both? I will leave that up to you guys from here on out. Unfortunately, we still don't have what we need right now. I am going to get 2 Deerling. I am going to get this Sparkling Crystal going. And I need an energy, and I need a way to find Flareon. I haven't seen my Tera Orb yet. I got Flareon, and I got my energy. Okay, cool. So we actually, oh good, we got everything we need. So let's put the Sparkling Crystal. Thank God it's not prized, because knowing me, I'd probably prize the most crucial part of this deck. Let's attach that there. We could now free retreat thanks to the air balloon. We are hitting for weakness, so this Bramblegast is going to go down. And we are going to attach 2 dark energy to this Eternatus. And now all we need is a fire energy to get this thing going. The only thing that oh right, it was a luxurious cape, so we take 2 prize cards. Nice. The only thing that I don't like about Flareon is you can't mix and match the energy. So see how like this Eternatus had 1 dark energy? If that was a fire energy, I couldn't say like, okay, well, I'll get a fire energy for this Eternatus and a dark energy for that one. No, I have to get the fire and the dark onto 1 Eternatus. I can't pick and choose or mix and match, which is the only thing I don't like about Flareon EX. I do like that it's a little more consistent. I know people will be like, oh, why don't you just use TM Energizer and use the Energizer? I tried that at first, but the problem was because we weren't doing any damage while attaching the energy, and you had to waste a turn using the Energizer, my opponent took way too much advantage of that. So that's why I opted for Flareon EX and the Sparkling Crystal. You could also do this with Squawkability and use its Motivate, and I mean you also get Squawkability's ability, which is amazing. But the other problem with that then becomes you have to have the energy in the discard, and you only do 20 damage. So trust me, guys, I do a lot of playtesting before I go onto the ladder. I really do. It's not like I just go, okay, I played like 2 or 3 games, and I hop right into recording. That's usually not how I work. I like to playtest. I've been playtesting with this Eternatus for about 2 days now, so you guys are seeing the result of a day 3 deck, as opposed to me just going like with the Griever deck, which a lot of you guys did point out in the comment section, hey, you could have put this in the deck, or hey, you could have put that in the deck. And while I do appreciate the feedback that you guys gave me in that, it wasn't like you could get rid of this card in replace of that card. You know what I mean? Or people were saying, oh, I'm using the deck and it's working great, or I made some adjustments. Listen, I put my decks in the description down below. You guys can use any deck that you want from my channel. I'm not going to stop you. But if you make any suggestions, please be kind and let us know in the comment section down below. What did you do that made the deck more successful? You know what I mean? All right, my opponent is having a horrible time. They're probably going to get the Crustle in their hand. So let's just boss this Crustle up right now. That way it doesn't become a nuisance. And there it is. Yep, they can see. Nice. Okay. And once again, I'm going to show you at the end of this matchup, this was a ranked match. There you go. I just run into people who have a hard time setting up, whether it's casual or ranked. So don't come at me with the, was it casual or ranked? Okay, here we are, game 3. And it looks like we are starting things off with the Eevee for once, actually. Okay, this might be a Goldango deck. Oof. Goldango decks are tough because Eternatus with the Brave Bangle only hits for 260 at most, and Goldango and other stage 1s usually tend to have 270, so we're just shy by like 1 HP, which is like the biggest heartache that I face with this deck. You could say, oh, well, Rare, why don't you play Max Belt? Listen, when I first conceptualized this deck, I was using the Max Belt as my A-spec of choice. But the problem then became that setting up Eternatus was too complicated. So Flareon EX seems to be the simplest way to set up Eternatus, and Flareon EX potentially can act like a basic in the sense that if you have this Eevee in play with its boosted evolution, you could just play Flareon straight from your hand even on turn 1. So that's what I did like. That's what really like drew me in towards using Flareon and the Sparkling Crystal as opposed to Max Belt with Eternatus. Wow, that is a lot going on right now. Okay, well, okay. See, like Iron Hands is good, 230. We could one-shot that with the Eternatus. What's not good though is that we don't have an Eternatus in play. We don't have the Sparkling Crystal ready. We could get the Sparkling Crystal with Arven, but the problem is here again. We don't have a means of getting. Actually, yes, we do have a means of getting Flareon, but we don't have a means of getting Eternatus right now. That's my biggest issue. If I had Eternatus, I'd feel a lot better, but we could get Flareon. Right? There's the Sparkling Crystal. Okay, so now I feel better just doing this. Oof, I hate getting rid of all that energy, but, oh, well, we got a rod, which will help. But, yeah, no. And here we go. Yeah, see, we're just going to lose now because Unfortunately, we don't play any Nest Balls in this deck. We just rely solely on Artazon as our means of getting Eternatus out. So if you don't draw into an Eternatus, it's kind of iffy whether or not you're gonna get it. They're easily going to retreat, go into the Iron Hands, and just take us out. That's GG's. All right, I think we're gonna have to move into a game 4 because again, not a great showcasing of the deck. And here we are in game 4. It looks like we are going up against Charizard EX, which is, oof, that's a scary one. And unfortunately, Eternatus does not hit for weakness on anything, so that's not great. We got a Flareon, so we can actually get this rolling. We could do this. We can attach this, which is the main purpose of that. We can attach that there, go into Eevee, and evolve straight into Flareon. There you go, see? That's how this is supposed to, work when it wants to work. The only problem is now we don't have Eternatus, and this is exactly what I mean. We struggle to find Eternatus without the help of Artazon or any of the means we have to shuffle our hand or get rid of our hand or anything like that. So we do get the Sawsbuck though, which is changing seasons ability, allowing us to get any stadium we want. So actually, we do have a means of getting Eternatus thanks to Sawsbuck, because we could changing season. Never mind. Hopefully, we get into an Artazon here, and we get Iono. Unfortunately, we get an Iono of our own. Okay, all right, not a bad thing dealt to us. And because we already have Flareon practically set up already, what we could do is we could actually put the Sparkling Crystal on this Eevee here. So let's do that actually. Let's get rid of a Deerling. I don't think we need another one. We have 3 Fire Energy, so I think I'm just going to get the Dark Energy, attach it to the Flareon, and let's just Iono. Hopefully we get ourselves a Deerling, get ourselves an Artazon. We play 4 Artazon in the deck, so... and we don't get a single one. Wow. Very unfortunate. We do get the Sawsbuck though, so that works. That'll allow us to get the Artazon. There we go. They've been hiding on us. Put that down. Use the Artazon. Get ourselves Eternatus. Now this is a good showing. This is what the deck is supposed to do. In theory. Because every deck is supposed to work in theory. Okay. Get 2 Dark Energies, and then we just detach the Fire Energy from our hand, and we're ready to swing next turn. And that's it. That's how you get Eternatus set up as quickly and easily as possible, in my opinion. If you guys think you could find a better way, leave it in the comment section below. And remember, be descriptive with your comments. I appreciate that you guys, have discourse in the comment section. You talk about how we can make the deck better, this and that. But, be more descriptive with your comments. I understand, like, oh, a Night Stretcher would have been perfect in this deck, or, oh, so-and-so would have been perfect in this deck, but what can we get rid of to put it in? You know what I mean? Because we only have a 60 card limit, and if you want to suggest putting a card into a deck, you got to take something out. You know what I mean? So that's all I want to say. But, yeah, I think this is working out pretty well right now. This is doing exactly what I wanted to do. And we could actually put the Air Balloon, but I'm not going to because never mind. I got the Eternatus right there. So I'm going to get the Sparkling Crystal. We prized it. And we prized the Air Balloon. Oh, God. Here we go. Now this is a rare TCG moment. It's always my videos. Always, always, always. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's thin a little more with the Artazon. Get ourselves another Eternatus on the bench. Good, good. And unfortunately, we're just going to have to pass. We unfortunately prize our Sparkling Crystal. So, all things considered, though, we got the Eternatus set up even without the Sparkling Crystal because the 2 energy requirement for Flareon. What I don't like, though, is that we're going to have to waste more energy powering up Flareon. You know what I mean? So, we can only get 1 more Eternatus set up. Oh, they definitely have the Charizard in hand. They got the Max Belt and the Rare Candy. Yeah, they got it set up. Ooh. They're going to totally retreat right now. This is not good. We unfortunately can't hit the big numbers against Charizard. with Eternatus. But what we can do is we could sacrifice one of our bench Eternatuses, attach a Dark Energy to it, and use our Dynablast for 90 damage. And if we could get ourselves another Brave Bangle, we could bump that up to 120, so then we can one-shot the Charizard EX. They're going to use the switch here, not wasting an energy. That's good for them, not for us. And actually, they're not going to one-shot us. We're fine. They're not going to one-shot us because we haven't taken enough prize cards. They're going to do 180 plus 30 is 220. Yeah, they're going to do 220, so we'll survive with 50, and that will allow Flareon to get one more hit off and power up another Eternatus. So I'm actually okay with this. So Flareon isn't the main attacker, but it does help exponentially. Oh, 210. I can't math. It does help exponentially when setting up Eternatuses and when trying to deal damage. I don't want to use that fire energy. We only have so many fire energies, and I've already used one here. So let me get a dark energy. I would much rather have the dark energy. Yeah, let's use the dark energy. Let's pop that energy there, and let's just swing for 130. That will put Charizard into KO range, and let's attach the 2 dark energies to this Eternatus, and then all we have to do is attach 1 fire energy to either of them, and they're set. That's it. And that's it. That's what I love about how consistent this deck is when you have the Eevee set up. If you don't start with Eevee, then it becomes a whole problem. Why are they bossing? Are they really wow, they really see Eternatus as a threat? That's crazy. It only has 200. Yeah, it only has 200. So, I mean, any of my Eternatus could take this out. And this is what I mean by you guys need the Super Rods, because once this Eternatus goes down, that's 2 energy right there. So, we are going to lose our Eternatus, but we can retaliate with an Oko of our own. So, I am not upset by that in the slightest. We can get the Eternatus, attach the fire energy, bump the Artazon, and actually, we're not going to bump the Artazon just yet. Let's get Eternatus and our 2 dark energies back. Let's attach the fire energy. Let's use the Artazon to get our Eternatus back onto the field. And do I want... No, actually, I want to keep that Iono in play, just in case. And 260 for just discarding an energy. That's crazy. And there goes Charizard EX. Hopefully they don't have a means of setting up another Dragapult or Charizard or anything like that. And hopefully we could just get this train rolling. I'm getting a little excited now because now my deck is actually functioning the way I envisioned it to function, and it's showcasing on camera, which is my biggest fear, is that I showcase a deck and it just doesn't work. Listen, I'll still post the footage if it doesn't work, because I want you guys to see, like, hey, I attempted it at some point, and if you were thinking about using this card, maybe don't use this card. You know what I mean? So my channel isn't always about winning. It's more so like bringing attention to cards that are being left behind because, the big flashy cards are out and people kind of forget about these little guys like Eternatus. You know what I mean? So if you find this deck interesting, let me know. You keep leaving those likes, keep subscribing, because you guys have been killing it with the subscriptions lately. We went up to 61 subscribers last time I checked, as of recording this video. And last time I checked, we were only at, oh my god, how many? We had like 30 something. So we almost doubled our subscriber base, which is absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much. I'm just gonna research here. No other reason. Let's just start manually attaching. Why not, right? I mean, we've got nothing else to do. And we can also use the community center. I mean, that's why I play it. Just so you can heal 10 damage. It's not a lot, but it goes a long way. And we could just discard the stadium. And that's it. We only play... How many stadiums do we play? 4, 8... I think we played 10 stadiums, which doesn't sound like a lot, especially because you want to be hitting a lot of Pokemon, but 230 damage times 10 is 2,300 damage. 2,300 damage. I mean, I think you could take 6 prize cards off of 2,300 damage. I mean, that sounds like good math to me. I don't know about you. Unless, of course, you run into a buttload of Charizard EXs. But even so, you could take out like 5 Charizard EXs with 2,300 damage. So you really shouldn't worry too much about that. They are going to get their Pheasantipity down, allowing them to flip the script, drawing 3 more cards. Hopefully none of those are rare candy. But actually, if we don't get Iono this turn, we win. Because we can just boss up the Pheasantipity and take it out with Eternatus. Assuming we don't lose Eternatus too. But it looks like they are having trouble setting things up. They are going to... Oh, they got the Tera Orb. Yeah, they definitely have the rare candy. Damn. Alright, that was a shame. We were so close to taking victory here, but unfortunately my opponent is going to set up the Charizard and really get things rolling, and thanks to that Super Rod, they definitely have that fire energy in the deck that they could attach to the Charizard EX. It is what it is. I can't really complain. The deck has been doing phenomenal this game, all things considered. It's not going to win you a bunch of games because, you know, Stage 2s and Stage 1 EXs are like the bane of this deck's existence. But Stage 1s like Chien-Pao, Iron Hands, Squawkability, Mew, Kangaskhan EX, those are complete death fodder for Eternatus. They're going to counter catch. Really? That was a bad play, buddy. That was a bad play because I could just boss up your Pheasantipity next turn and take it out with my Eternatus. I think they realized that was a bad move because they're taking forever to make their decision. They're going to take out Sawsbuck. Oh, I see what they were doing. They see Sawsbuck as the threat because they say, okay, this guy could definitely get their stadiums with the Sawsbuck. Not a bad idea, but unfortunately for them, I have the Artazon in my hand. And I play 10 stadiums, so the odds of me not finding a stadium were slim to none. And we've only wasted 3 stadiums, so we definitely had stadiums to spare in the deck. And we are just going to take a victory right now by promoting this Eternatus, putting down my Artazon, bossing up the Pheasantipity, and calling it a day. So, Artazon, boss's orders, Pheasantipity, please don't concede, let me do this. Nice, they did not concede, thank you. Take my last 2 prize cards, hitting for 260 on a basic 1 prizer, and there was the Sparkling Crystal and the Air Balloon. Wow, that was a great game. Thank you so much to my opponent. And wait, just before we go, I know I'm harping on this now because that comment really got to me. Ranked, we are in ranked. Alright, that is going to do it for the Eternatus deck. Very difficult deck, I will say. It is not for a novice player. Especially if you want to try and edit it and make it a little more optimized, I would definitely say you should have a little knowledge or understanding of how the game works before you dive into this deck. If you could get it to go well and consistently get pulled off with the help of Flareon EX, then by all means go for it. But not starting with Eevee is a real problem, and you're going to have to waste an Air Balloon, and it's not a great deck. I mean, I'm glad I was able to showcase it for you guys. I'm glad we had some good games with it, but like I said, it's not the most consistent card, so I don't think that you're going to go on the ladder and start winning a bunch of games, but I'm glad that I was able to showcase Eternatus as best as I could and, you know, get it out of obscurity because people are forgetting about some of these older cards, you know. Like I'm working on a Jump Luff deck as well. Like these are all cards that people just... Like, there's like over 1,000 cards in the format, and we're playing with the same 5 ones, you know what I mean? So, I'm trying to spice things up a little bit, so... Thank you guys so much for the likes and the subscriptions and leaving the comments and doing everything that you're doing. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm sorry I didn't have a lot of energy today. I'm tired from work today. It's kind of late at night, and I still got to go food shopping, so... life. But, yeah, I don't want you guys to think like, oh, you know, Rare's getting bored of TCG. He doesn't want to make videos anymore, because that's far from the truth. I love making my videos. I love playing the game. I love optimizing cards that shouldn't be optimized like Eternatus and showcasing them to you guys, whether it's in casual or ranked. But I will refrain from using casual, so I don't see people harping on the fact that I was playing casually, you know. All right, I'm going to start harping on that now. But, yeah. All right, this has been your boy Rare TCG, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.